The Guardian Prime is the most prominent Comic Republic Universe character, but where does he come from? In this video, we'll be looking at the origin and roots of the fan favorite superhero. Without further ado, let's get into it. To understand the origin of the Guardian Prime, we have to go back in time, way back to the time of the First Race, and understand just what the First Race are. It all started when Olodumare, the god and all-father of the Comic Republic Universe, created the world, and the first group of people he made were the First Race, the individuals mankind will later come to know as gods. The First Race are a group of entities that precede the creation of humankind. They live in a dimension higher than our level of perception, and sometimes come down to interact with mankind. And in ancient times, they received worship and reverence from humans. This often led to mistreatment of the humans in the hands of the gods, so the first Guardian Prime was awakened to protect the humans and fight back against the tyranny of the gods. It literally implied in the name Guardian, but it's all speculation though, as details about this have not been revealed in the storyline yet. The Guardian Prime is not just the name of our hero, it is a mantle passed down from generation to generation. It is the power bestowed upon anyone choosing to be the perfect human. The person born as the fifth element and awakens the power inside of them. There have been several Guardian Primes throughout history, but most of them die without even realizing they are the ones choosing to lead mankind towards the light and defend her against the evils ever present in the day. The current Guardian Prime, named Tunde Jaiye, is the son of a very popular senator and from a very rich family. He also has a job as a high fashion tailor while he is not up and about saving the world. The story of our Guardian Prime goes down back to when he was a lot younger. In Guardian Prime Genesis Issue 1, he witnessed a car accident, and after saving the victims, he was still trying to save a dog from the burning vehicle and almost lost his life. This unique display shows that he always has a brave heart and was willing to stand up for the defenseless. The second part of his origin story we see was a flashback he had of his younger days in a tertiary institution, while he was unconscious in space after the Scourge incident, where he had burned brighter than a blue star and detonated like a nuke to save the world. We saw the process of his awakening when the plane taking him and his sister back to Nigeria was about to crash. This was going to lead to the death of everyone on board, but the really inexperienced Guardian Prime exerted himself then and there, reaching deep into himself and discovering the immense power he had to save everyone, even in that impossible situation of do or die. He asked for his sister's hand, and for the first time he shared his invulnerability with her and everyone else on board the plane, covering the entire structure with his powers. For the duration they were in contact with him, everyone on board was as durable and as intangible as the Guardian Prime. This caused everyone to survive the plane crash, and it recorded 0 casualties because he was on board. After this great heroic act though, the young hero collapsed due to fatigue and overexertion. Taken care of by his little sister, who was still in pretty good condition like everyone else, considering they had all been in a plane crash, she was approached by a woman who called herself Titi, whom I suspect to be a friend of Gaia, a member of the First Race who was also an ally to the Guardian Primes. She informed his sister that the Guardian Prime vessel had awakened and they would need to train him for the battles ahead, as he still had a lot to learn at that moment in time. Fast forward years later, the fame of the Guardian Prime has spread throughout the land, as the world sees him perform supernatural acts across various countries and continents. This must be after he has received training and guidance for years from Gaia, who seem to have taught him everything he needs to know about being the best Guardian Prime in history. Because before him, most people in the Comic Republic universe have never heard of any other Guardian Prime or superhero with similar powers to his. Our Guardian Prime is also quite unique in the way he looks. A great distinction between his suit and that of the first Guardian Prime we see later on in the story, and also the only other Guardian Prime we have seen so far. It seems that every Guardian Prime has a different version of the green, white and gold suit, and this is just my speculation, but it would seem they also have different types of powers as well. This theory of the Guardian Prime being the instrument of Gaia to fight back against the gods and the First Race is also backed by the fact that the superhero is constantly involved in battles with members of the First Race and even their sworn enemies in the Scourge, and they both seem to dread his name. From the might of Guardian Prime's Scourge incident to his fight with Alusieze Kalu, his fight with Ivrui, and even up to the Vanguard Union, his confrontation and conflict with Aziza and Chief of Ceremony, down to Vanguard Overwatch and communication with Zeus and confrontation with Hercules, leading to his ephemeral defeat with Raiden and Thor alongside Shango. These are all instances where he was involved in either a hostile confrontation with or in flat-out battle against members of the First Race, and this makes him the only character in the Comic Republic to fight against such a large number of gods. This makes a lot of sense if you believe that this was his purpose all along, to keep humanity safe by fighting for us against the stronger and more powerful race of ancient, superpowered individuals. Overall, the Guardian Prime is really an interesting character, seeing that he's just an human, like any of us, who believes in himself well enough to do the impossible every time. He didn't let the potential inside of himself go to waste like most of his predecessors did, but chose to strive for greater heights because as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is he. I'll be covering more about the Guardian Prime and everything you need to know about every other Comic Republic universe hero, so make sure to subscribe for more.